Breaking out of my shell, Toastmaster shell.
Good morning, Mumbai Toastmasters and dear guests. यादें मिठाई के डब्बे की तरह होती है। एक बार खुला तो उसे पेट टुकड़ा नहीं खा पाओगे। Memories are like a box of seeds. Once open, you won't be able to eat just one piece. While reflecting upon my life journey for this icebreaker, I too felt nostalgic. So, shall we begin exploring my box of sweets? Box 1. Me and my fox. My name is Sherry and I belong from Rohtak, a part of Delhi NCR. I always mention this because people are too judgmental about Haryana. Sorry to break your myth, guys, but not everyone from Haryana is Babita from Bangalore. Box 2. School and career. Basically, I'm Nana from Ye Jawani Diman. Being academically good, I always felt the constant urge to top the class and make everyone proud. But despite being a topper, I could never fit in and always used to feel left out. Bunking classes, making fun of teachers, and chilling with friends felt like a sin. Apart from studies, I really enjoyed sketching and used to think of myself as the next Picasso, but couldn't pursue it. Art as a career was considered too risky. I had to choose streams after 10th. Though good in science, I was scared even of injections, let alone dissecting human bodies. So couldn't be a doctor. I went with the most obvious career path in commerce. Any guesses? Yeah, see. I think first CA along with the correspondence factors from Delhi University. I put my heart and soul into it and literally gave up on everything else, be it social media, interacting with people, and whatnot. It wasn't easy, but was definitely worth it when I became CA in first attempt at the age of 21. Then you truly desire something. The whole universe conspires to make it true. Said exactly. It was that euphoric moment for me. Box 3. Corporate journey. As soon as I cleared CA, I got placed in Infosys. Little did I know that was an unconventional role for a CA. Nevertheless, I was thrilled, but at the same time, nervous too. Since the initial 1 month training was in Hyderabad, it was a big deal for a girl who has never stepped out of her hometown alone. But I took the leap of faith. Inpi campus was just mesmerized and it looked like one of the sets from current horror movies. Then I had to shift to Pune. But since all the colleagues were sailing the same boat, it never felt overwhelming due to wonderful flatmates. But this was short-lived. Soon, the COVID began and work from home became the new normal. In lockdown, I rediscovered why I was sketching. I also started writing poems. One of my favorites is, if they say it's not your cup of tea, tell them I don't drink tea. It's my cup of coffee. No offense to the chai lovers. So, fast forward to 2021, I started working in Walt Disney. Everything was going great until the work from office resumed. This time, I had to relocate to Mumbai. People say first job is the most challenging, but for me, that was not the case. I grabbed my bags again and finally landed in the city of dreams. Initially, it was challenging, finding an accommodation of the draining rents, confusing locals, and rug-up uncles. I felt I could not relate to it, so I'm out. But calming teammates and supportive friends helped me get. Box 4. Water lectures. Though I really love philosophical conversations, however, recently I've been going through quarter-life crisis. Not that quarter, having existential crisis in mid-20s and pursuing overthinking as a hobby. I began self-introspecting my regrets. Biggest being the regret of not going to a regular college, of living in a confined shell and not having my 3 years experience. This made me wonder. I become extreme introvert and making friends doesn't come naturally to me. This was a moment of epiphany when I finally decided to come out of myself. Joining Toastmasters is the stepping stone to my Hogwarts journey. And when Toastmasters gives you icebreaker, try making a delicious ice popsicle out of it. Thank you and all of you.
It is rightly said, memories are like timeless treasures of the heart. And my speaker, Sherry, today, since your speech was about coming out of your shell, I have summarized my evaluation in the form of the same thing, which is a shell. So, what did I like about your speech? The first S, that you were not at all fickle minded and you had a very clear structure to your speech. You actually brought out your speech as a box of chocolates and you had 4 or 5 clear chocolates which you wanted to present to the audience. And each of them were brilliant memories and beautiful memories you could share with the audience. The second thing I liked about your speech was how you excelled at hand gestures. I remember you acted like Shah Rukh Khan in middle of his speech. You had excellent hand gestures to support each and every thing that you spoke and all your memories about how you were born and brought up and how we have a very wrong misconception about Haryana and not everyone is like Geeta and Babinda. So brilliantly done, and your hand gestures matched each and every part of your speech very well. And finally, the E. What I really loved about your speech the most was how you took the audience through an emotional roller coaster through short stories. And these short stories were humorous and intense. You spoke about how it was a very different experience going to Hyderabad and experiencing life there. And then how just as you were starting your corporate career, COVID happened. You came back and then you looked at things differently. You took back your hobby of sketching. You gave us so many anecdotes, and each of those anecdotes had their own bit of humor. Finally, I must say that Icebreaker is an experience where you bring out your life in front of the audience, and you did just that for us today. Bringing out different aspects of your life is always a challenge because there are so many aspects to choose from. You have to actually shortlist and bring them out in the public. Having said all of this, I must commend you for overall having a brilliant structure and storytelling. But if I have one area of improvement for you, is look at the audience in the eye. That is my final L of shell. You need to actually have a very strong eye contact with the audience. And one way of doing this is look at your audience as 4 quadrants. So, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And take times at different points in your speech to look at the entire audience. Don't feel shy to come up on stage and look at the audience because you had brilliant stories to tell. You had a brilliant speech in place and you were very well prepared. And given that you put in so much effort, it makes sense to actually look at the audience in the eye and tell your story out. This stage is yours to learn, yours to experiment, and yours to tell your stories. So I look forward to future stories from you at Mumbai Toastmasters. And I'm sure with this speech, you've actually added one more chocolate in your box to relish on in the future. And I'm confident that you have built confidence to actually come out of your shell and be the best speaker possible.
So the superstars for today's meeting were Atul, Shelly.
Shali, I'm very surprised that you have the guts to put that as your speech title. Right? The shell and Shali, everyone's fine. Using humor in your speech title in your first speech, great job. I love that one thing I've learned from both of you, Shelly and Shreya, is a lot of us probably hesitate to use ourselves as personal examples and struggle with not coming off as arrogant. Right? If I say that I achieved this, and using that as a way of not coming off arrogant is an art. And that's something I think you guys can learn from both of them. Toastmaster Shelly.